Blog Talk Radio.
This episode of Video Marketing Madness is made possible by ClickFunnels. ClickFunnels is the easy way to create your squeeze, sales, and all sorts of other pages all in one simple click of a few buttons. Well, I guess that would be more than one click of a few buttons. But either way, you can build entire sales funnels at the touch of a mouse. I mean, how can you beat that?
Wow.
Absolutely amazing software, great pre-built templates, and an easy way to build all of your funnels. So check it out today, raythevideoguy.com/clickfunnels.
raythevideoguy.com/clickfunnels.
Absolutely.
That's easy.
And I'll tell you, you know, Steve, it's the one thing I should mention about this. I'm actually writing an email that I'm going to be sending out because not only is this a really good product, but it is just a brilliant example of video marketing. So even if you're not interested in the product, you should click over and check out the videos they've done because it really is quite impressive, the work they've done for video marketing, and a great example for anybody who does video marketing. So there you go.
And that's ClickFunnels with an S.
That is ClickFunnels, one word with an S.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, cool.
And on today's episode, we have Mr. Andy Nathan, the founder of Smart at the Start, which is a blog and social networking consulting company that helps small businesses grow through bite-sized internet marketing services.
Cool.
There you go.
Hey, Andy, we'll talk to you in a second. We got to do the little
yes,
song
we got to
here.
do the jingle.
Ray the video guy, yeah, Ray the video guy. His skill is where it's at. Even if he's a little fat, he's filled with video expertise and has so much knowledge that you need. His YouTube ninja tricks can make your marketing so sick. He's Ray the video guy, yeah, Ray the video guy.
It's the online marketing radio show, Video Marketing Madness with Ray the Video Guy. You can like our Facebook page. Now, this is the radio Facebook page at facebook.com/Video Marketing Madness. Plenty of useful tips. And I post all the news of the week in there as well. And there's a lot of good information in there, if I say so myself. And then, Ray, you also put some of your great deals in there, too, I noticed. So that's good. Yeah.
Occasionally I will put those things there as well.
And that's useful. I mean, it really is, too. A lot of those things are very, very helpful. And,
but you will not find advertisements for Ray-Ban sunglasses, sadly. So.
Okay, Andy, that's a little bit of an inside joke, but Ray has a mastermind group that I'm one of the admin on it, and that one is facebook.com/group/online video marketers, and that's a good place to get views for your videos and get your questions answered. And if you post anything about Ray-Ban sunglasses, you're out of there.
Okay.
Yes, we had a rash of auto postings in there on how to buy Ray-Ban sunglasses for low prices, which was
that makes more sense now.
Yeah. So we had fun with that. Okay, hey, we're live Wednesdays at 2 p.m. Eastern, so you can join the conversation at 818-369-1423 if you're listening live. And if you're not listening live, you're not listening live. No matter where you go, there you are. And let's see, Ray's video marketing tip of the week coming up at the end of the show. Okay, Andy, how you doing, man?
I'm doing pretty good. Thank you for having me here.
You're in Chicago, one of my favorite towns. In fact, it is my favorite town. I agree. We were talking before.
My kind of town.
My kind of town. I'm not going to say it. Yeah, I grew up.
If I sung, you would lose subscribers.
Yeah, well, same here because I really can't sing. But yeah, we were talking before the show. I grew up near the Quad Cities on the Illinois side. Have you ever heard of Kewanee, Illinois?
I have heard of Kewanee, and I think I've traveled through there because I used to do a little vacationing around Alton and places around there. So
sure, yeah. Yeah, there, and I went to high school in Peru, Illinois, LaSalle, Peru. So I grew up pretty close enough to Chicago. That's my dad owned his own business. He was an entrepreneur, and And he was always working, and we could never plan out vacations. So our vacations were, Dad got home on a Thursday night, everybody get in the car, we're going to Chicago.
Okay.
And we did that a lot during the summer. So everybody get in the car, we're going to Chicago. And then the days before the internet, he'd just drive around till he could find a hotel that had rooms.
Yeah, I still do that sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, it was kind of fun, and he knew where everything was. And then we, even though we were Cubs fans growing up, because the station in the Quad Cities carried the Cubs games primarily, but we still went to White Sox games because we could get in.
I forgive you.
Yeah, that's and it's kind of weird because like everybody in Kewanee was a Cubs fan, and everybody in LaSalle, Peru, Spring Valley were White Sox fans. So.
Well, I'm surprised. Well, it sort of makes sense because the AAA teams in Iowa, I think they're around there, aren't they?
The AAA team in Peoria is I think Cubs. Yeah, if I'm not the Peoria Chiefs.
Okay.
Pete Vanaken used to own them, the late Pete Vanaken, who was really good friends with Harry Carey. In fact, Vanaken's is a real popular.
And by the way, the Chiefs are for the Cardinals, I believe.
Are they? Well, they were Cubs.
Yeah, I could have swore that the AAA team was in Iowa.
Oh, Iowa. See, now if I listened, I'd be doing better. The Iowa Cubs.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
they're affiliated. I'm just kidding.
What'd you say, Ray?
They're called the Cubs, but they're affiliated with the Red Sox.
Yeah, they're affiliated with the White Sox. They're called the Cubs. It's just kind of one of those tricks they like to pull. But getting back to Pete Vanaken, a real popular restaurant in Chicago is Vanaken's, and so when I was a kid, that's where we always went, and so we went to see a Cubs game one time, and we ended up sitting next to Harry Carey and Pete Vanaken when we went out to dinner after the game at Harry Carey's. This is quite a few years ago because Harry's been gone for a while. But and then during the middle of our dinner, Roger Clemens came in. This is when he was with the Red Sox. They were in town to play the White Sox to pay his respects to Harry. So I got to meet Roger Clemens, I got to meet Harry Carey, and I already knew Pete Vanaken from when I was a kid, although he didn't remember me.
I also got to meet Roger Clemens one time, believe it or not.
Did you? Wow.
I did. And you want to hear where it was?
Where?
At the Roger Clemens Chicken Restaurant.
Oh.
I don't know if you guys even remember that, but he had a chain of chicken restaurants, and there was one that was opened up in Rhode Island. And I believe eventually they became... I believe eventually that one closed, and then Kenny Rogers Chicken opened, and then that franchise closed. And
yeah, I don't remember Roger Clemens Chicken, but I
don't know how many they had, or if it was just a New England thing or what. But it was Roger Clemens Chicken. It was kind of like Boston Market.
Yeah, it definitely was not a Chicago thing.
No, not. Well, yeah, it'd be a New England thing because of the Red Sox. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. And maybe Texas too, because he's from Texas. In fact, I saw him, although I've kind of put two and two together, and I think I saw him pitch in a College World Series game because I looked at it and I thought, I think I was at that game. But back then, none of these guys are superstars yet. So when they're playing in college, he pitched for Texas. So,
cool. No, I've actually gone to White Sox training. Even though I'm a Cubs fan, my uncle actually has he's friends with Jerry Reinsdorf, and he actually has a part stake in the White Sox.
Oh,
so
cool.
We actually got to go down there one year. It was actually the year I think it was the year that they actually went to the division playoffs, and I got to meet Frank Thomas, Tim Raines, and Jack McDowell.
Wow.
I actually have a signed baseball somewhere in my parents' attic, and it has everyone's signature except for Carlton Fisk, because he was going through negotiations with the Sox at that time, so he wouldn't sign any balls for anybody.
Okay.
That was like, which instantly loses about $300 to $500 in value now off that ball.
Well, I proposed to my wife at Wrigley Field.
Oh, that's kind of cool.
Yeah. So, and that worked out well. I married up. So, and I can remember I'm really dating myself, all right, but I can remember going to Chicago Bears games with my dad at Wrigley Field. So yeah.
That has to be a long time ago. I can't. I've never seen a game at Wrigley. So.
Well, they moved to Soldier Field in 1970. So yeah, there you go. Okay, but this is not a show about baseball. It's about.
Well, we love baseball.
But we love baseball.
Why not?
Hey, the Royals won last night. You know, I'm not too far from Kansas City, so that was kind of a big deal. The first time in the playoffs in 29 years.
Playoffs.
And
the world champion Red Sox are on vacation right now, I believe so.
As are the 1908 world champion Cubs.
Yeah.
So,
first team to go 100 years without winning anything.
Yeah, it's I don't know, kind of sad.
We were close. We were at 90, I believe, or 89.
Yeah. Well, and when the Red Sox started winning, you know, World Series, getting in the World Series and winning games, I thought, okay, the Cubs are next, but I don't know.
They came close that 1 year.
Yeah.
It was like, and then they blamed.
That was what, like 86 or 87 or something, wasn't it?
Wasn't the kid's name Beckman?
Yeah, the Steve something. Yeah.
Yeah, he caught a foul ball that we could have actually caught, and then the Marlins went on to win. And
yeah, it was just
blah blah blah.
I remember watching that play, and they said, "Well, this is it. We can't win anymore." It's like, what do you mean you can't win anymore?
I know. It was. I think it was 10 years ago though. When that
had to be
10, 12 years ago. So
they went. I think they still went to the division playoffs a few years ago. But that one was like the big one where they thought they were going to go all the way that year.
Oh yes, I remember that. That was a.
But
like baseball, we're talking about internet marketing.
Yeah, okay. Well, why don't we do this?
News.
Let's talk about something else.
All right. Now, news of the week here.
Yes.
All right. So, this comes from searchengineland.com. Are games and lyric sites Google Panda 4.1's biggest losers? Okay, so Google began rolling this out, Panda 4.1, last week, and it's still going on. But Search Engine Land says they've already seen winners and losers. Actually, it's a report from Search Metrics. The biggest winners for Panda 4.1, based on this early report, are sites in the news, content, and download portal realm, while the biggest losers are sites in the games, lyrics, and some medical content. Okay. And Marcus Tober, the founder of Search Metrics, wrote, losers are often games or lyrics portals, as well as websites dealing with medical issues and content. And in general, what Panda 4.1 is hitting pages with thin content. Aggregators that do not provide unique and relevant content. And the medical sites sometimes, you know, that's what it is.
I'd be curious to know what they mean by medical sites, though. My guess is the ones hit are the ones where they are basically just there to sell some ridiculous product. You know, when they say medical sites, I'd love to see more. You know, I'd love to see, is WebMD hit by this?
Yeah. Well, that was you know, I just thought of that when you said that, WebMD. I doubt it, because that's not thin content. That's original. Yeah.
I think they're being quite liberal with the term medical sites.
Yeah. No, I hear you.
Yeah. Also, it just, to me, that's kind of weird. It's like medical sites are going to be hit, like, because they're the only ones that have thin content.
Yeah.
And part of it is also with medical sites. If it's one site that's going to get hit, it'd be all of them. I mean, it's not like you're going to have, like you guys said, you're not going to hit WebMD and then not hit, what was the other one you just mentioned? They had medterms.com. I'm looking at the article.
Okay.
Medterms.com lost 40% of their visibility. It's like, well, first of all, I've never even heard of medterms.com, so I don't really know how to judge their visibility. But
and of course, Viagra from Uganda lost a lot of
Yeah, exactly. I think that's what we're probably seeing more than anything else is stuff like that's getting hit.
Yeah.
Lose 20 pounds by Tuesday.com or whatever.
Yeah, or whatever. Hey, I have lost 10 pounds this month, though.
Very nice. I found them.
Yeah. I'm on a diet, Andy. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was on a diet, then I went last night with my wife to a Brazilian steakhouse for her birthday, and that diet's fun.
That sounds good. I love those places.
We've got a couple of really good ones out here that I love to go to.
Yeah. I don't know that we must have some in Omaha. I think we do. We just never go out to eat. So. And you know what? We got actually. I should say we never go out to eat. We got such great steakhouses here. Just mom and pop steakhouses that
Omaha? No way.
Yeah, in Omaha? Really? You got steaks there? No kidding.
Omaha has steaks?
I did not know that.
We should call them Omaha steaks.
Yeah.
Yeah, you should start selling those steaks.
Yeah. Okay, this is also from Search Engine Land, and if I'm not saying this guy's name correctly, correct me, okay? Udi Monber moves to YouTube as head of search.
Yeah, I don't think we could correct you even if we wanted to, but okay.
Udi Monber is a longtime Google search executive, and they've shifted him over to YouTube, where he's going to lead the search engine search efforts on YouTube. And remember what Daryl Eves said a few weeks ago. We had Andy, we had Daryl Eves on the show, who's a YouTube partner, which means he gets to go have lunch at Google headquarters. And and he said if you're doing a lot of backlinking with like GSA, the search engine ranker, quit doing it, because they know about it and they're going to start hammering on that.
I'm curious when this guy jumped in there, because I've seen a lot of changes lately.
Have you?
Oh yeah, I mean things like where 2 months ago I could put something up and know that in 2 minutes it's going to be the number one thing on search in YouTube.
I've seen.
And now a day later it's nowhere to be found still.
Yeah, I've seen that. Now, I will tell you what's really helped me are the AdWords buys.
Oh, yeah.
It's made a huge difference. Now, I'm still, doing the social media sharing.
The problem is, and I don't mean to jump in with my own news of the week here, but
no, go ahead.
There's been some articles written, and Real SEO, and maybe this is even one of your things. Real SEO had an article the other day about it, where nowadays they're saying that the watch time is now the number one ranking factor. So if you've got a new video, that has no watch time because nobody's watched it yet, it's going to be a lot more difficult to get people to get it to rank.
Yeah.
It's all about watch time now. So for instance, if you've got a 2-minute video and 10 people have watched it, that's 20 minutes of watch time. But if you've got a 3-minute video and 10 people have watched it, that's 30 minutes of watch time. And the misnomer, of course, is that, we always used to say, people always used to say, you want high retention views, and that if, your video is only watched for 20%, you're going to get hammered. Well, that's not really how it works. It doesn't matter that it's only watched 20% of the time per se. What it has to do with is how long is 20%. If 20% is 20% of a 10-minute video, that's going to be a lot more effective for you than 100% of a 1-minute video.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Because
yeah, right.
The goal of YouTube, and we've said this a million times in the past, the goal of YouTube is to get people to come to and stay on YouTube. And the more that you help them keep people on YouTube itself, the better they're going to reward you. And if you've got a 5-minute video and people are watching, 4 of those 5 minutes, they're going to love you for that. Whereas if you got a 2-minute video and people are watching 100%, they're not going to like that nearly as much because, that's less minutes watched. Mm-hmm. And so that's a big, big factor. In fact, they're saying now that might be the number one factor for ranking, that they're going to show the videos that have the most watch time, over everything else. Now, of course, obviously, your titles and all that still matter quite a bit. So a video that has a totally different title may not outrank you, But if they've got the same title and you've got less watch time, they're probably going to beat you out. So that's one thing we need to really focus on now is getting lots and lots of watch time on those videos.
Well, and the other thing is, I was cranking out a lot of videos that were just real simple slides with voice track, 30 seconds.
Sure.
And those were ranking pretty well for a while. Not so much anymore. I've gone back to the talking head videos.
Yeah.
Andy, just FYI, I'm really not a videographer like Ray is. So, but I'm an old radio guy, so the talking head videos work pretty well for me,
Okay. No, I do a little bit of video, but most of them have been the screenshot videos.
Well, and yeah, exactly. And well, I mean, which is fine. I mean, Ray's got a graphic arts background, so that's why he can, put together really nice looking videos, as opposed to me. I can't, shop for clothes by myself. I got to take my wife along. So
I empathize with that completely.
Yeah. So
I've actually hired somebody to get my clothes and to dress me now. Well, not to dress me, but to dress you.
Oh, I see. Uh-huh. Does Carrie know about this?
Yes.
Okay. All
right. Hey, so I have a question for you guys. So you're talking about time watched is important for SEO. And I'm assuming this is something that would carry over. If you write articles, like one of the things that they talk about is Google now places, in terms of Google search, for content, they want articles that are the average first place ranking has an article between 2,000 and 2,500 words or something like that. However, the challenge is that most people aren't reading past like 1,000 words or 1,500 words, which means that the majority of people don't even get to the bottom. It's in terms of percentages, I would assume the same is starting to happen with YouTube. So if they want people to watch in minutes and people aren't watching all the way through, I could see that being a bit of a problem, which is part of the reason why a lot of people started doing the 1 minute and 2 minute videos.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Is that I'm just wondering, because in terms of conversions for business owners, there's sometimes less use in a longer video. I'm not saying that there isn't a reason to do a longer video. There's always reasons to do that. But wouldn't that be sort of at odds with each other?
Well, one we're talking about the YouTube search engine and the other Google search engine, which are fundamentally different.
Absolutely.
So that's the big difference there. When I'm talking about the watch time thing, that's definitely much more about YouTube itself. Whereas on Google, the same rules are going to apply to both. So what they want is, time on site is a big factor no matter what. In fact, that's one of the things that we've seen a lot lately is people complaining that, oh, my video pages have disappeared. Well, yeah, because you had a video and no text. So yeah, your video, you might get good watch time if people are watching the video, but Google has almost no way of knowing what that page is really about because there's nothing on it but a video. Okay. Google can't read, can't understand the video, so they're looking for text, that kind of a thing. So I think that's where the difference comes in between the two. And of course, like we said, the goal of the two is different. The goal of Google search is to provide you with the best content when you're searching. The goal of YouTube is to keep you on YouTube as long as possible. So, it's just a totally different sort of goal. And I think that makes a big difference.
And yeah, you're absolutely right there. I was just thinking about this in terms of a marketer's perspective that, I agree with you that it's good to have longer searches or longer videos because, a lot of times you can explain things in more depth. The challenge is that you lose so many people on that. And, a lot of times if you're doing videos that long, the idea is to get clients. And you don't want to lose all your clients as you're doing a video that's too long.
Well, I think it depends on what the video is. I mean, I just stood up one for I looked and saw that I didn't have a video for podcasts about online video marketing. I never did a video on that. So, I just did a quick talking head video last night and 2 minutes long. I can't really say any more about the radio show. I don't even think it was 2 minutes. It was a minute long. I mean, I can say everything I need to say about the radio show in a minute. Now, if I was doing a video on how to build a barbecue, and people are really interested in how to build a barbecue, and it's a 15-minute long video, they're probably going to watch it. I mean, if that makes sense, you know.
It depends, and I think you need to hit both fronts. So if you're going to have a video, you should also have, you know, a written explanation and maybe even diagrams and things like that,
sure,
so that everybody gets a little bit of the action out of that. I think that's where you're going to get most of your value, is by providing all of that stuff. So
well, but what I'm saying here is, my videos, I believe, are properly optimized because I'm doing everything you taught me to do, right? You know, as far as optimization, you know, the keywords, the titles, the description,
right,
and then the AdWords buys. I mean, I'm seeing a difference in ranking because of those AdWords buys. So, you know.
Yeah, I find that they make a huge difference. You know, not only. My thought on it is, and this is what I've been telling people a lot lately as I'm moving more and more towards that, is, you know, do I care if I'm number one if I've got an ad that's bringing in targeted people?
That's right.
You know, as long as you're spending $1 and getting $2 back, who cares?
Yeah.
You know, I mean, yeah, it's nice, but and we found that, you know, it still works. And the funny thing is, you know, I recently put out my video list builder course, which was all about how to build a mailing list using just YouTube videos and AdWords, or AdWords for video, that is. And the funny thing is in my example, I used a niche that I've never been a part of before, so it was a brand new one. And, you know, after I did the case study and everything, I actually shut off the ads because, you know, the whole thing was about building the list, and all of a sudden I said, oh, I've got a list, and I'm paying money to get all these people on the list and everything, which is working really well. But, you know, I didn't really do anything with the funnel because I was just testing to see if I could build the list. Yeah. I had nothing to sell them in the back end. So I shut off the ads. But what I found is they're still bringing in people, even with the ads shut off. And I'm not really finding them in search because I didn't really specifically optimize them to try and rank them well. You know, I just didn't go to that effort to do that. But people are finding them and signing up anyway. So, you know, sometimes the search thing is a difficult thing to quantify because people may search things you're not even thinking of, and you might be doing really well and not know it. So it's, you know, that's another factor that you have to take into account.
Well, and not only from a ranking standpoint are my videos doing well from you know, for because of the AdWords buys. I'm noticing that the associated websites are you know, getting a lot of hits.
Oh, good. Yeah, that's yeah, and I've just started doing something with Amazon, similar to that, which I'm sure you've seen already, Stephen.
Yeah. The coffee thing. What'd you do?
10 videos in one day.
Yeah, although Faye was pretty easy on the eyes there. I tell you what, one of the spokeswomen.
You know what? I don't even think I've really paid attention to what the videos are, to be honest with you. So she's the girl sitting on the couch, I assume?
Yeah.
Okay. Until I put those videos together, but they were already pre-made, and so I didn't really
I
watch them too well. But but the thing is, you know, in a day, and I haven't run any ads yet, and in just 24 hours, those videos have already brought in 200 people have clicked through to the products on Amazon. In 24 hours for products that are in the $500 to $1,000 range. Well, some of them are actually in the $200 to $300 range, but for the most part, $200 to $1,000 for those products, and we've brought in 200 people looking at them. So that's a really good sign.
Yeah, well, sure.
And that's without ranking the videos.
Without. Now, did you buy AdWords? Did you say?
No, I have not.
Oh, you haven't? Okay. Oh, that's very impressive. Yeah, absolutely very impressive.
What was the traffic from? Was from the YouTube video then?
It was from the YouTube videos, and I know, because I only put them up yesterday afternoon, I know even right now they're not ranking top of YouTube or Google yet, and yet they're still bringing in quite a few people, so that's a good sign, which means they're probably showing up in search under words I didn't think of, but who knows?
That's always a bonus.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, that article on Time Spent Watch from Real SEO, it is on our fan page.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and I think we talked about
that's how I found it.
Well, is it? I think we talked about it last week. I'm pretty sure we did.
We may have.
Yeah. So,
I try to forget.
Well, yeah, and I don't try to forget. I just forget. Okay, this is from Search Engine Land. Marin Software. Ken Chu named as Facebook's Atlas paid search partners. Monday, Facebook announced the expected relaunch of Atlas, the ad serving and measurement challenger to Google's DoubleClick. And both Marin, I'm guessing it's Marin, might be Marin, but I'm guessing it's Marin and Ken Chu have been named as paid search partners. What's this say? Yeah. In its announcement of the Atlas relaunch, Facebook said Atlas delivers people-based marketing, helping marketers reach real people across devices, platforms, and publishers.
And they should add to that until we decide to ban you from Facebook ads.
And the rest of it is yada, yada, yada. Did they ban you?
No. Well, they did on one of my accounts. I have no idea what they said. There was suspicious activity, and they never did say what or why.
Oh, I'll be darned. Well, you are a suspicious fellow.
Yeah, but I've talked to a ton of people, and pretty much almost everybody I know has been banned by Facebook ads at some point in time.
Oh yeah, I've had some. Well, I haven't been banned, but I've had ads banned.
Yeah.
Have you? Oh yeah, I've had. Yeah, you know, I mostly do boosted posts. Is that what it's called? Boosted posts.
Yeah.
Promoted posts, that's what it's called. And boy, I see a lot of click-through to the landing page.
Oh, nice.
From those.
Yeah, I've noticed that the click-throughs from Facebook ads when I've done them, the only problem is in terms of email subscribers, it's about $1 per subscriber. Which is not bad, but it's just
that's not too bad. On YouTube, on my case studies, I was getting about 50 cents per opt-in. And the good thing was that with the YouTube stuff, it was actually far more targeted because, you know, the difference, and this is something that I don't think people think about a lot. There's a fundamental difference between AdWords advertising and Facebook advertising. One is, you know, with Facebook, you're pushing ads towards something. In other words, you're pushing it towards people that are 18 to 25. You're pushing it towards women. You're pushing it towards architects, whatever it happens to be. Yeah. Whereas with YouTube or with AdWords, you're usually pulling people in that are searching already. Mm-hmm. So you're bringing in people who are actively searching for XYZ, you know. So it's a little more targeted, I think, with AdWords than it is with Facebook a lot of times because you're sticking the ad in front of people versus, you know, drawing people in. And, you know, I found that we've actually done a lot cheaper with the YouTube ads for list building purposes than with Facebook, but also that it was a much more targeted audience. So we've seen not only cheaper click-throughs or cheaper opt-ins, but the squeeze pages convert much, much higher than the Facebook traffic does.
You don't have to keep paying to get them to
exactly. Yeah, I mean, we're talking, you know, on the case study, I had 3 different squeeze pages, one of which converted at 71%.
Wow.
Yeah, so that was pretty incredible.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah, and I think it's just that so targeted.
Wow. Cool. You the man.
Well, not me. Lead pages.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
They take some of the credit.
Yeah, lead pages that's really cool. I do like lead pages. Even the stuff I use on it is your stuff, but you know, still, I like what they do. RealSEO.com. Finally, the story comes from there, and this story caught my eye because this is how we watch Netflix. 44% of U.S. broadband users watch online video via a games console.
Wow.
I'm 44%.
44%. 90% of U.S. households are connected to the internet via broadband, and now Ray can count himself as one of those households. He doesn't have DSL anymore.
DSL is broadband, just so you're aware.
Yeah, right. And 44% of those homes are watching non-gaming online video apps via their game consoles.
Yeah, I do that.
Yeah, we do too. Netflix, you know. And
we've had a Wii since 2009, and we used it for Netflix. We haven't even played a game on there since like 2010.
Yeah, the only time we use our Wii to play games, well, my daughter's 17 now, so she's not, she used to use it a lot, but when the grandkids are over, we play a lot of games on it. Otherwise, it's just watching Netflix,
Yeah, we actually use, we've got an Apple TV, and then one of the other TVs has Netflix and Hulu built into the TV. But I think my son uses a PlayStation for that, though.
Well, and they say it's even more popular than watching DVR, connected TV, or even Chromecast.
That doesn't surprise me. And actually, the Chromecast is actually pretty good. It's a good little device. But of course, the only issue is you have to have a computer nearby. But I also do a lot of, like I said, I use the Apple TV for it, but also a lot of times I'll use the iPad and project things up to the Apple TV from the iPad as well.
Yeah, right. Well, and you had neighbors over for movie night this summer, didn't you? When you projected right outside on using your projection unit.
Yeah, we had a big giant screen out there for that stuff.
That's cool.
That'd be cool.
Yeah,
that was a lot of fun.
Yeah, since Ray likes people, unlike
not really.
Okay. But the neighbors just see it and they show up. It's Ray the video guy again.
That's right.
So,
right. Neighborhood parties, man.
Yeah, well, that's where it's at.
I unlocked.
Now for something completely different.
Way, set the guards aside so people can come up.
I never did ask you if you had any news of the week before I played Monty Python.
No. Let's move on. We're already at 12:37. It's past the bottom of the hour.
Andy Nathan.
Let's get into it. Andy Nathan has joined us for the day, and we are excited to have him here. Poor Andy, 37 minutes we've been yapping on here without talking a bit about you here.
That's okay. It's good stuff.
Andy was part of that, though.
He was, and people are probably going, yeah, but we don't know who he is yet.
Before the show, Andy was like, well, what are you going to be talking about? I want to make sure I know what to say. I said, don't worry about it, man.
Yeah,
he did, and you did fine. You did fine.
Thank you. Yeah, if I didn't scare people away, that's a positive.
Yeah.
Nice. Very nice. Well, Steve, let's introduce him more officially here so everybody understands it. And Andy, of course, out of the Chicagoland area, as we talked about earlier, he's also the author of Startup Gap and eMarketing Experience. So we've got another author. So why don't we start there and tell us a little bit about the Startup Gap, and tell us a little bit about being an author, because that's exciting in itself.
Okay. Thank you. I've written a book I've written another book that was completely unrelated to business. It was called Eyes of Emerald, and I'd done that with a writing partner a few years ago. And long story short, I'd always wanted to write something for internet marketing and start writing stuff for business, because I'm actually a freelance writer. I'm a blogger. That's what I do all day, and I always thought it'd be kind of cool to have a book. And last year I was at Internet Profits with Steve Olsher holds it. It was in Chicago. I heard he's going to hold it in San Diego this year. And it's a great event, and everyone kept saying the same thing. You have to have your own book. You have to have your own book. And, I've been sort of writing a book, and I didn't have a name for it at the time. And I said, let's just do this. Because that's, my opinion is that if you're going to get it done, you just have to start on it. And I set a goal to get it done in 3 months, and I wrote eMarketing Experience. And while I was writing the book, one of the things I noticed, and it sort of stuck with me, and it was one of the things I could not get out of my head, was that a lot of times, eMarketing Experience goes through like all the internet marketing and how that works. And I started thinking in general terms in business, because a lot of times I look at internet marketing, you look at like what you're doing on YouTube or what you're doing with Google search or even Facebook and how you market there. And it has so many different applications for how business owners get started in their own business. And it made me start thinking about the gap, because one thing that I was writing, I was talking about Twitter. Twitter, when they started, I think the first, the first month, they only had like 7 users or something like that. And it took them almost 7 months just to come up with their first 1,000 users. Wow. Now, Twitter is a free service, and it was free back then. Right. And you think about the fact that in 2006, they had 1,000 users. They didn't even have 1,000 users until like December of that year. Now they have 250, 350 million people on the site. So it started making me think about the gap in between. And it was one of the things I've always wanted to do is just, I like talking to people and going back and forth about how people did it. And I'm a history major. I'm actually a former history teacher. So the history of how you do it has always been very important to me. And what I thought was that let's talk to successful entrepreneurs and find out how did they do it. And that was the birth of Startup Gap. It talks about the gap in between the dreams and success. Because a lot of times as entrepreneurs, we hear about all these great people and doing all these cool things. And it's, look, great, you're doing stuff that's with video. That's really cool. I would have even thought about it. However, I'm sure you just didn't just wake up one day and know everything about video marketing. It took you a long time to get to this point, correct?
Oh yeah, I would say that I still have no clue.
I understand.
And Ray is my mentor.
Scary thought, isn't it?
And I have somebody that does social media for me. Actually, Candace. She does a lot of my social media, and she helps me out. And she was willing to connect with us. And a lot of times she'll ask me questions, and she thinks I know so much. And it's just like I hear other people talking. I'm like, wow, they're so smart. It's completely. You learn as you keep growing, but it's amazing how people have this perception that, I've been doing this for 5 years now. So you must know everything about the business. I can't believe you've been doing this long. And that's just amazing when you think about it, but it doesn't happen that way. It's a continual learning curve, and it's a growing curve. And the problem is that people don't focus enough on that gap. And that's what I wanted to talk about. So I called it the Startup Gap. Actually, I was going to call it the Wikipedia Gap because every single thing on Wikipedia sort of goes like how Bill Gates started Microsoft in 1976, and then in 1980 he had this multi-million-dollar contract with IBM. But I didn't really think that Wikipedia would like me naming a book after them and what they didn't cover.
No,
so
they probably frown on that a little.
Yeah, I didn't see that legally being a smart move.
But just for the record, anyone wants to write a book using my name is free to write a book with my name in it. There you go. I would actually want to know what the book is about first. But I agree with you wholeheartedly on that. And people get all nervous about writing books, and I've actually done a group book project since I started this, just to get people involved and get people started writing, because a lot of people started asking me about this. And people have a lot of fears about how to write. Even for writing blog posts, which is something that you need for content, for SEO, people get afraid. They're like, well, this is bad. Well, I refer to myself with that. Look, my wife tells me I'm the worst writer in the world. And, my wife doesn't really sugarcoat it, by the way.
And you know how you're supposed to reply to that. Yes, dear.
Yeah, well, she says, how do you actually make money in the business? I said, I have good editors. It's just that, but you have a good team and you have people around you. You don't have to be a great writer. The first articles I ever wrote were horrible. I look back at them now, and it's like I have to change them every single time I see them because I'm so embarrassed of what I wrote. And you get better over time. I've written probably 3,000 to 4,000 articles in the last 5-6 years.
Wow.
It's freaky, but I got better over time. And that's the thing that a lot of people don't understand, is that it's not about just going out there and all of a sudden being amazing at it. It's about learning how to do it right. And that's one of the things that I've really been able to do with writing. And I started off with blogging and creating little pieces there and then going on to books. And it is a little bit different. completely different ball game when you're doing books just because of the length. There's a mental barrier to doing it. But when you start writing those books, it really does become easier to do, and you can start writing more and more of them. So,
yeah, no, that makes perfect sense. You know, and I think about when I first got out of college, I started off in customer service at a printing company, and that's how I was able to learn everything before I got into sales. And not that I learned everything, but you know, I was pretty far along in my product knowledge and knowing where all the business was. So when I first got into sales, I was pretty successful, and it wasn't because I was such a great salesman. There were probably better ones out there and worse ones out there, but I knew the product. I knew where the business was. I'd done a lot of networking. You know, I had time to figure it out in a customer service environment where I wasn't expected to sell anything. You know, and that's where I got, you know, if I say so myself, pretty good at it. When I got into internet marketing about 5 years ago, and that was all because of 2009 and the crash and everything, I didn't have that luxury of being in customer service, so I just had to kind of figure it out. And so, you know, I always wonder, why am I not being immediately successful at this? And then I suddenly realized, well, I'm still in this figuring it out stage, you know.
Absolutely. And I did sales also. I used to do mortgage sales, and oh man, some of the first companies I worked for, I didn't have the luxury of doing customer service for first. I went from teaching in a public school district, which wasn't too fond of, to actually doing mortgage sales. And the only reason I left mortgages was because of the crash as well.
Yeah.
So surprisingly enough, in 2008 and 2009, it wasn't really a good time to be a mortgage broker.
Nope.
And one of the things that happened was that when my first job as a mortgage broker, the guy looked at me, and he was a Romanian guy. Great guy. I haven't seen him in a few years, but his wife actually sold me my first house that I bought, and he says to me, he says, "Look, that lady over there, she's Polish. This lady over there, she's Mexican. What are you?" I said, "I'm Jewish." He says, "Go to synagogue. That's how you get clients."
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. No, good point, yeah.
I'm like, really? I have no clue what I'm going to talk about, and I'm just going to tell people that I'm a mortgage broker and I'm going to get clients. It's like that was sort of like it was like being drop kicked into like a sales position, and it was scary. And you know, I dropped out for a year or two, and I came back, and you know, when I did, I found a company that would actually train me and show me what to do, and that actually made all the difference, because when you have somebody that actually walk you through it step by step, it does make a huge difference.
Oh boy, yeah, it does, and as opposed to trying to figure it out on your own. I've tried both.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, it is interesting. You do have to, everything you do, you know, you look at it and you say, God, I really stink at this, and then you come back at it later on, you're like, that's amazing. I've been working out a lot lately. There's a gym that opened around my house, which is like, it actually means that I didn't have an excuse anymore not to go. And I started, as a kid, I was never able to do a chin-up. And I started trying to do a chin-up, and I could actually do 2 chin-ups now. I'm not like saying I'm like the world's strongest man, but it's like when I first started, I couldn't even do it. And it's like I look at it, I thought like, oh, this will never happen. And one day all of a sudden I was able to do it. It just, it takes time, and you start every day, you get a little bit better and a little bit stronger.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, the other thing I think that's important as well is stepping up to bat every day. I like to use that sports analogy since we were talking about the White Sox. But, you know, step up to bat every day. Even the best hitters, you know, the best hitters hit 300, you know. I mean,
right.
You know, just, you know, be there every day. Keep, you know, come up with a plan and work the plan. And, you know, don't be afraid to make some changes to it. But, you know, work your plan every day and don't get discouraged.
Yeah. And since we're talking sports, I think this was a Michael Jordan quote. I've had 10,000 shots in my life. I've missed 10,000 shots, and but I'm completely butchering this one.
Yeah, no, I know which one you're talking about. I've had 10,000 shots in my life, and I missed 9,000 or something like that.
Yeah. He also was the one, I think, who had the line. It's not that it's not that it gets easier. It's that you get better.
Right.
Yeah,
So,
exactly. Yeah.
And that's really what it's about.
All right. You guys want the quote? I got the quote here.
Oh, he found it. Okay.
I've missed more than 9,000 shots in my career. I've lost almost 300 games. 26 times I've been trusted to take the game-winning shot and missed. I've failed over and over and over again in my life, and that is why I succeed.
Yeah.
Thank you. I'm glad that someone. I should have just looked at the quote instead of butchering it.
But you were right on. That's exactly it. And I use the baseball one all the time. It's like, hey, you know what? The best baseball players in the world fail, 2/3 of the time. So at hitting.
Yeah, best.
So.
Yeah, at hitting. Well, and then I've got this. Does anybody know who Evan Carmichael is?
Yeah. He has the forum and the membership online.
Okay. I've got a quote from him on my wall. As an entrepreneur, you're going to have a lot of people tell you that it'll never work and to quit. Stick to your vision.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ascertain what you're good at first and foremost, and then stick with your vision. And that knowledge is power. There's a saying for you. I just came up with that.
Nice, that's a good one.
Hey, that reminds me of a joke. Now, you guys watch some football. Hey, you've probably seen the Nebraska Cornhuskers play. Football. Do you know what the N on the helmet stands for?
Nebraska.
No, knowledge. Yeah.
Only in Omaha.
Only in Omaha. Yeah. Knowledge.
I can't remember the last time I watched a Nebraska game, so I don't really know if I'm the best person for that joke.
You can't live here and not be Cornhusker. I've lived here for almost 40 years, so I'm, and that's really the only thing we got here. So, we got somebody calling in.
Excellent. We love call-ins.
Yeah, it's 818 area code. So
let's hope it's a solicitor.
Yeah, let's 818 area code. You're on the air. Do you have a question for Andy or Ray? Hello, are you there?
Yeah, hey guys, you got a great program.
Oh, okay, good.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's a wonderful program.
Okay, well, good. Did you have a question or?
Yeah, you guys have an excellent program.
Okay. And that's the only reason you're calling in.
I love the program. It's a great program. Wonderful program.
Excellent. We agree.
Yeah, how great is the program?
It's a great program. It's a wonderful program. I love the program.
Okay.
It's a great program.
You love the program? All right. Okay. So do you mind if we put you on hold then? And Johnny will tell you what you want.
You guys had a great program.
Okay, well, I appreciate that. He's doing drugs.
All right. 54 minutes past the hour. We appreciate all phone calls, so thank you very much. We do appreciate that. And we do our best.
We did?
Appreciate when people like that. So
we did appreciate that one? Okay. I had a feeling I know who that was. Where's 818 area code? Where is that?
Well, let's find out.
Okay.
I should have looked at it. Usually I look that up.
Yeah, I thought you had it. Yeah, you're always doing that.
Didn't even think about it this time, but it looks like the 818 area code would be California.
I bet you that was Eric Mowry. I bet you had it. It just sounds like something he'd do.
Yes. We'll blame it on him anyway.
Yeah, and if it wasn't, we're going to blame him. So.
Yeah, if it wasn't, we'll blame him anyway.
Yeah,
there you go.
This sounds like him, but it is a great program.
That could well be our first heckler, our first phone call heckler. That would be great.
Yeah,
this is the big time.
This is cool.
That's right.
Yeah.
Somebody from the Howard Stern show. Somebody's going to yell out. What did they yell out on the Howard Stern show?
What was that? I haven't listened to Howard in years.
Baba Booey.
Baba Booey or something like that. Yeah. Of course, he's not on air anymore, so to speak.
That's right.
So,
he's not, and we are. So who's the king of media now, pal?
Yeah, exactly. Oh, actually, he's on Sirius FM.
Yeah, I know. They only paid him $500 million.
Yeah, I know.
It's crazy. But.
And he can use the 7 words if he wants to and not get into trouble. So.
Indeed. So let's ask you one more question here, because I know we're starting to run towards the end here, but we don't want to lose out on any of the extra time that we have here. So the question I wanted to ask you, you talk about how businesses, you help businesses to grow using what you call bite-sized internet marketing services. Could you explain a little more about what a bite-sized internet marketing service is?
Good question.
Yeah, well, when I started the business, and I actually have been somewhat getting away from some of the services just because I've been focusing more and more on the writing, but I actually have partners to do the other part of it. It's a lot of times when you take a look, this goes back to small business versus large business. When I started doing this, all my competitors had one thing. They would have either 3 programs that would be, hey, here's our $500 a month program, our $1,000 or our $1,500 a month program. Or they would be only working with enterprise clients, and the minimum was about $10,000 a month. And most small business owners, one, it wasn't fitting for them in terms of what they needed, and 2, most of them weren't just fitting into the little slots. And I understand that, having some programs, it's good just because it gives clarity. So what I started doing was, instead of actually doing the 3 programs, I would have boxes with the different services I offered, and they'd be defined services. So, for example, one of the services I would do is 100 tweets for $100.
Oh.
So in that way, if you came to me and said, look, I want 500 tweets, well, then we have a price. And sometimes if you get up to larger numbers, it'd be a little bit of a discount. But at least then, when you could start putting stuff together instead of just having it one specific format. And a lot of what was happening was that when I first started was that it really made a difference for the small business owner, because they needed somebody to just take off some of the pressure. They needed someone to just write the content for them, or maybe they needed someone to just do the management for them on their Facebook page. And whatever the service was, this gave them the opportunity to have someone do it for them, and it was something that, 1, was affordable for them, and 2, something that I could do that was reasonably priced, and that I could actually make sure that I could deliver to them on a timely basis.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense, because one of the things that I've found that I do a lot of email marketing, and I'll write an email in language that I understand, and then I'll get a reply. What are you talking about? If you can put it into language that your customers can understand, and something that they can wrap their arms around. I'll do 100 tweets. What would you say was the price, Andy?
It's 100 tweets for $100.
Yeah.
I have another one. This is only for LinkedIn. I used to do this for Facebook and Twitter, and it really wasn't as effective. But I'll do 200 connections for $400, and that one's something that I'm probably gonna phase out soon. But it's something that's easier for people to do.
But the point is it's easier for people to wrap their arms around it, as opposed to telling them you're going to tune up the electro defragmentizer on their server, and they have no idea what you're talking about. I mean, it's an easy way to get your foot in the door, because in many cases, the more complicated sales, you got to have a relationship in place there, whereas you're just trying to get. Okay, now we got another phone call, so let's see if this is a heckler or not. Okay. You ready for this, Andy?
I'm glad. I'm just glad to be on the first heckler call.
Well, it's a great show. Okay, area code 214. You're on the air. Do you have a question for Andy or Ray? Area code 214. You're on the air.
Yeah, hey guys, you got a wonderful program. Hi. Great program.
And how are things in Dallas, Texas these days?
You have an excellent program.
Okay, well, good. How good is the program?
I love the program. It's a wonderful program.
Okay, well, thank you. Well, have a nice day. What did I do to deserve that? He's probably using his Twilio number.
That's kind of funny, I'm saying.
Yeah, I know.
I'm sure that's like off some TV show or something like that. You have a wonderful program.
Yeah, but wonderful. It's a great program. Yeah.
See, it's a good thing we have a good sense of humor and we can play off of those types of things. You know?
I really don't care, so it doesn't upset me. We used to do a show on the college radio station. A guy did a show called Rumor Line, where people call in rumors. Can't do that anymore. And it got pretty raunchy. And but it was a carrier current station, which meant if you plug your radio in and set it to 550 AM, you could pick it up. Those things went away a long time ago. And it was unscreened calls, and people would call in with rumors, and they finally forced her to put in a 7-second delay. This was at a Jesuit Roman Catholic university. So. Creighton University, so.
Yeah, they should do that again. That's fun.
In fact, the guy that did that is now the main news anchor at Channel 8 in Dallas. So I'm sure he doesn't want people to know he used to do Rumor Line. But
there you go.
You know what? I remember when Google Hangouts first started, I was doing the Hangouts on Air. I have a social media community on there on Google Plus. And in order to start building the community, we started doing these monthly hangouts on air just to get people interested. And we get a few people coming in. And one time randomly, we had someone come in and they turned on a video, and it was a porn video that was actually being recorded. And it was just because it was 25 minutes in, and we're having a conversation. Everyone's getting to meet each other, and it's all going great. And then all of a sudden someone comes in, and I don't even know if I should repeat what was happening.
Yeah. Well, we're not subject to the FCC here, but hey Ray, we had somebody apply to get into the mastermind group, and it was his Facebook avatar was a picture of his tallywhacker.
There you go.
Yeah, and I thought, I'm going to block this one.
Why?
Yeah, why? Well, it wasn't that big a deal.
Oh.
Sophomoric humor. But it's a wonderful program, a great program.
Yes.
So Andy, Startup Gap. Don't go there.
Startup Gap is not a real site.
Yeah, Startup Gap is a porn site. No, StartupGap.com. Watch, everybody's going to Startup Gap now to see what it is.
Yeah.
Startup Gap.
Is there a StartupGap.com?
I don't know.
Let's find out.
Find out. Ray, I'll let you do that one.
Oh, it's not even an available site. Okay.
No, it's not available. Okay. StartupGap.com. I was looking at it today, and there's a lot of good information there. And if you want to see Andy's website, it's StartupGap.com. But just give us a little teaser of what's there.
Yeah, StartupGap.com is where I put a lot of blog posts on there. I actually need to put one on there sometime soon because I haven't done one in the last week or so. And you could also find information on all the interviews that I did with the 22 experts or successful people. I actually did the interviews through Google Hangouts, so they're all available public. And if you want to get the book, which is, you could also get it through there, which has the 7-step program that I used, condensed from all the people that I interviewed and all the people I researched, because I actually went through the books of history and just figured out who would be a good person, just the criteria of how to do it. And you could see a lot of the background information on there as well.
Oh, cool. Cool. Anything else we should know if we're, this is good information for anybody starting off, second career guys, what have you.
Yeah.
Roman Catholic priests who are tired of the priesthood.
I don't know about Roman Catholic priests. That's not exactly the target market here.
I'm not even Roman Catholic. I don't even know why I'm. Although both Ray and I grew up Roman Catholic, so we get to make jokes about them. So.
Okay.
Hey, do you know who?
I'm not Roman Catholic, but my wife is.
Do you know what they call a guy a Catholic that travels a lot?
Yeah, we figured that one out.
A Roman Catholic.
Oh boy.
Yeah, I know. It's pretty bad. ROAMIN.
Yeah. No, I got it.
Okay.
Our apologies to Andy for having to endure all this today.
No, it's okay. I might be using that joke on my wife tonight because she likes to travel and she's a Roman Catholic.
Yeah. So there you go.
I completely appreciate that. Actually, the audience that this is for is more work-at-home entrepreneurs, internet marketers, anybody who really is looking to get started or wants to have their own, like a solopreneur type person who is starting up some type of business. Coaches are great. It does span, and it can work for pretty much anybody, but it really does work more for your entrepreneurial sort, and that's part of the reason why it's Startup Gap, because it's for people who are getting started and they want to craft the gap between dreams and success. And this book really does help them. And you can get it. You can see the book at Startup Gap, and it's on Amazon as well.
Boy, I wish this book was there in 2009. Don't tell me it was there in 2009.
I wish the book was there in 2000.
Yeah.
This is the book I always wanted to read. Yeah. That was why I wrote it.
Yeah, absolutely. I really needed that back then. Yeah, it probably would have sped up the process quite a bit.
I probably needed a few more books in addition to that back in 2009, but yeah.
Well, it would have kept me from snorting all that meth. I'm just kidding. I don't snort meth.
But that's the best part of it.
Yeah, I know. Snorting meth.
Yeah, no, you know what, and a lot of this is that what I was looking to do was sort of take over in terms of where I thought there were some gaps for entrepreneurs, like outliers, which is a big influence for me. I sort of looked at a lot of the things that he did and also just covering the things that he might have missed in there. Because he talks about like the 10,000 hours, and he also talks about just timing. I think there's some other things that he missed in there that were applicable to small business owners and entrepreneurs.
Cool.
So
excellent information.
Thank you.
Yeah, our guest today on Video Marketing Madness, Andy Nathan, founder of Smart at the Start. I was dumb at the start, man. But see, so was Andy, and this is why you want to read his book, Smart at the Start, because he learned how to be smart. You know, I've talked to consultants that use this pitch. I've made every mistake in the book, so you don't have to.
Yep. There you go.
I agree with that pitch because I've done that. I actually say that I'm smarter than everybody else because I've made more mistakes.
Yeah, I've made more. Yep. You know, so yeah, exactly. Smart at the Start, a blog and social network and consulting company. It helps small businesses grow through bite-sized internet marketing services. And he's also author of Startup Gap and eMarketing Experience, both available on Amazon?
Yeah, absolutely. Everything's available on Amazon. So if you could get it's Smart starts the service side if people need help.
Hey, can you stick around while Ray does his tip of the week?
Yeah, thank you so much for having me on here.
Yeah, well, let's do tip of the week, but stick around. I mean,
I'm here.
As long as you don't have to bail. I'm trying to be courteous because it's a great show. It's a wonderful show, and so is Ray's tip of the week. And now, tip of the week with Ray, the video guy.
I love that intro.
That's me.
We never would have guessed. So today's tip of the week actually is a little bit different because it's not so much a free tool or anything like that. Although you do get to try something out for a couple of weeks. It's actually the product that we talked about at the very top of the show. And that product is ClickFunnels. And the reason I bring this up again is because, as I mentioned at the top, it's a tremendous example of video marketing in action. Now, it's a great product, which is also a positive, of course, but what you need to do is if you want to be able to learn video marketing and see exactly how video marketing works when it works well, then this is a product you want to go and check out, because they use video marketing in a way that most people do not. They're very, very good at it. They've got great sales videos that are well produced, well thought out, have great psychology, and they also use a variety of different types of videos for different situations and for different audiences. So I highly recommend that you actually check out not only the product, because you can get it for 2 weeks free, so there's your free product part of it, but I actually really would like you to check it out specifically so that you can see exactly what they're doing there, because their videos are excellent and they use it to a much better degree than most people that I see using video. So it's and it's not just some video they're trying to rank on YouTube. I mean, these are high-level sales videos that aren't so high level that you couldn't produce it yourself, but are just very, very good quality, and they know where and when to use them. So I highly recommend that you check out the product, try the 2 free weeks, but more than that, as a great case study, just check out what they're doing with video. So again, you can check that out by going to raythevideoguide.com/clickfunnels. And of course, you can also just search it online, and you'll see their videos pop up there if you do some searching. But just a great way to see video marketing in action in a very high level, very successful way. So there you go.
I need to take a look at it. Now, are they, when you say sales videos, like sales letters?
Some of them are,
okay.
and when I say sales letter videos, a lot of times we talk about, for instance, my buddy Alex Jeffries just did a course on creating video sales letters, and oftentimes when we think of video sales letters, we think of the white screen with the black text that just repeats what the guy's saying.
Mm-hmm.
But obviously that's a style of video sales letter, but you can take it to so many different levels, and that's exactly what these guys do. They have a couple of animated explainer videos that they use, but they also use, and this is kind of unique, they have a video where they're talking about a very digital-based product. They're talking about a product that creates your squeeze pages and your sales pages and your, all those different types of things, your thank you pages, et cetera, et cetera. But their explainer video does it with cardboard cutouts of what the page looks like. And so they literally sit there and they put on the table a cardboard cutout of what the page looks like, and then how it connects to another page and how you can move things around. So it's, and I don't mean, there's software out there that does that, but I mean literally they've got a guy sitting there doing this. So they actually printed out pictures of it and they move them around, and so it's very unique. And it keeps your attention while it gives you the information about the product. So it's a great example. And their explainer video, their animated explainer video, is also really good because they do a great job not only with the actual animation, which is very nice, very high quality, but also the psychology behind it, what they say, how they say it. They compare your business to McDonald's and explain how McDonald's makes money off of this and not that. And it's just very, very well done. And then they also do Jeff Walker's product launch formula. And they do that very well. So that's another great example of how to use video marketing is using the product launch formula. So they use all of these things. And depending upon the audience, they'll send you through a different video sales funnel. So some of those guys might go get to the product through the explainer video, whereas others might go through the product launch formula. And, of course, that allows you to tailor to different audiences, but it also allows you to do testing to see which converts better. So it's just overall, it's a really, really good example of marketing in general, but especially video marketing. So that's why I wanted to bring that up and offer that as the tip of the week as a great way to get an example. And, of course, it really is. It's a brilliant product, too, and that's a totally different story.
It's a brilliant product, but it sounds like it's a little tough to do a 30-second elevator speech on it. Of course, I'm being kind of a wise ass when I say that, but there's a lot to it, isn't there? That's what I really meant.
Yeah, no, there is, but they do an excellent job of breaking it down so anybody can really understand it.
Okay.
And that's what I really liked about it, is you get a good understanding. And then another unique thing that they actually did with video as well on this is they actually created what they call a vision video. And that's something that really should be checked out as well, because the vision video kind of talks about why they did this, what's the vision behind all of this, how it came about, how they created it. It's a little bit behind the scenes. So that's actually really well done as well. So
Okay, cool. And you can get that at raythevideoguy.com/clickfunnels.
Correct.
With an S, and that's Ray's video marketing tip of the week, and today's show made possible by ClickFunnels.
ClickFunnels,
well.
yes.
Yeah, that's cool. Very efficient, my friend.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
Cool.
No, it's a great product, but a great way to kind of see somebody in action. So, and I think it's important to see that once in a while because we hear a lot. We talk a lot about different things, but not necessarily show a lot of that stuff in action in real life. And so this just gives you a good opportunity to see it in real life.
Well, Andy, thanks. Bears and Panthers this weekend. You think we can beat the Panthers?
I hope so.
Yeah, jeez. Think Mel
Tucker defense.
Well, yeah, you think Mel Tucker is going to be around next year? Defensive coordinator, by the way.
You know what? It's not completely his fault, but the entire defensive back, all the quarterbacks and they basically are down to rookies and third or fourth line safeties and stuff like that.
Again this year. Yeah, it's just like, what the heck?
Thank God we drafted a cornerback for our first pick in the draft.
Fuller, is that
yeah.
Yeah, Craig Fuller out of Virginia Tech. Yeah, he's good. He's not ready to face everybody yet, it's a little too early for that. But with Tillman out and stuff like that, we desperately needed somebody there. Yeah, but Tillman's coaching him up. You can see it on the sidelines. He could be a coach, I think.
He probably will be a defensive coach. I think part of it is I can't remember when Tillman's coming back and when he's coming back. It just but you have Tillman and Fuller on there with the experience that he's gaining.
Well, Tillman's out for the year.
Is he out for the year?
Yeah, he's out for the year, and he may retire because
I think he will.
Yeah, if you saw what was the San Francisco game where he re-injured his tricep, he had tears rolling down his eyes, as in it all came home to roost that was the end. So I don't know.
You know what? More than likely we're gonna have to draft another cornerback next year, which means that we're gonna have or some either a cornerback or a safety next year, which means no matter what happens, we're gonna have a great defense. We're gonna have the great defense again. So
yeah, if we just keep from getting hurt. But
yeah,
today's show made possible by the Bears.
The Bears.
The Bears. And sausages.
Sausages.
Yeah. And I'm having a heart attack.
Sausages are good.
They are good. Okay. Well, hey, guys, I think we can wrap it up now. It's a wonderful show. It's a good show. It's the online marketing radio show, Video Marketing Madness with Ray the Video Guy.
Great show.
Yeah, Andy Nathan, our guest today. Today's show made possible by raythevideoguy.com/clickfunnels.
Yes, ClickFunnels.
You can like our Facebook page at facebook.com/Video Marketing Madness. Get plenty of useful tips and news of the week. It's all in there. So check that out, and we'll see. Yeah, we will be back next week. So
yes, we will. We'll have our bags packed, but we will be here next week.
Yeah, taking off. I'm leaving Thursday morning to go to Los Angeles on the 6 a.m. flight.
Nice.
But if I can just get out of bed, it's a lot easier when you have to make a connection. If you take that first flight out, it's just a lot easier. So,
yeah, I don't like to talk about the flights. The flights are a little strange. I will be leaving on Thursday as well, but I will be leaving here at I believe like 10 o'clock in the morning and get there at 11. So. You
got a direct flight though from Salt Lake, don't you?
I do. I have a direct flight. Thank goodness for small favors.
Yeah, I got to connect through Phoenix, which isn't too bad. Once you get to Phoenix, it's just hop, skip, and a jump to L.A. So.
And of course, before we go, if anybody is interested in joining us, you certainly can still do that. I believe there are still tickets available. You can join Steve and myself, along with Darrell Eves and James Wedmore and Gideon Shalwick and Casey Zeman and a whole bunch of other great guests And you can do so by heading over to raythevideoguy.com/vidsummit, which, as we mentioned, is a video marketing summit being held next week from the 9th through the 11th. So
at LAX. And
right. You get off the plane, and the hotel apparently is right there. At least I hope so, because I didn't rent a car.
Yeah, well, if worst comes to worst, they got a shuttle. Don't worry.
Have Steve come back and give me a piggyback.
Yeah. I can. I'm an old man. I can do that. All right. Hey, okay, Ray. Thanks. Hey, Andy. Thanks a lot, man.
Thank you very much.
All right, guys. Have a great week, and we'll see you next time.
All righty.
Ray the video guy. Yeah, Ray the video guy. His skill is where it's at. Even if he's a little fat, he's filled with video expertise and has so much knowledge that you need. His YouTube ninja tricks can make your marketing so sick. He's Ray the video guy, yeah, Ray the video guy.